a short introduction about yourself.
So my name's Dominique Sakoilsky and I come from Bristol in England. I am a mother of a 24-year-old son and a 20-year-old son and a 16-year-old daughter.
Aš vardas yra Dominique Sakoilsky ir jinai atvyko iš Jungtinės Karalystės, iš Bristolio miesto. Ir jinai yra 3 vaikų mama, 24 ir 20 metų sūnų ir 16 metų dukters.
For about 20 years I've worked with pregnancy and parents as a birth educator and a doula, like attending births, and also as a couple therapist and a family counsellor.
20 metų dirba su gimdymais ir tėvystės srityje, tiesiog konsultuodama šeimas, konsultuodama poras, taip pat dirbdama kaip doula, gimdymo sesuo, padedama gimdymas. What's the most important thing in your life around what this week?
Well, I think family is like the most important thing. I had my first child when I was quite young, and I think it was a bit of an awakening for me. It woke me up, and it probably got me exploring things in a way that I hadn't before. So I think that led me to study lots of different things. Also, I come from a big family, 7 children, quite a complicated family. And I think that also made me interested in how families work and different family dynamics and how the parenting you receive can help and sometimes hinder the parenting you give, that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Aišku, kad šeima, jinai susilaukė pirmo sūnaus būdama ganėtinai jauna ir tai buvo tarsi toks pažadinimas, prabudimas, kad jinai pradėjo domėtis tiesiog savo vidumi ir tai, kas vyksta. Ir taip pat jinai yra kilusi iš didelės šeimos, kurie buvo tam tikrai ir sunkus santykiai ir dėl to tai paskatina jos domėjimąsi, tiesiog kaip galima spręsti santykius, kaip galima studyti. Well, what news could all that bring to you? What message?
I think that to value a role as parent and giver of life, you know, as mother or father, I think that people are often like very busy just surviving with life, with working and housing and all that kind of thing. And I think that sometimes family life can get very squashed and we can sometimes forget why we do it, or the fun of it, or the joy of it, or the miracle of it, or the gift of it, really. So I guess it's to remember that, to kind of... and also that it's very easy with, I think if you've got children, to always kind of, if you look at your child's behaviour and you don't like what you see, it's very easy to sort of focus on the child. And I suppose I would love parents to also always hold a place where they look inside of themselves and wonder what it is about them that's also playing some sort of part in what's happening, so that children don't become like a scapegoat in families. Oh, sorry, I'm just talking away here.
Pagrindinė ta žinia būtų, kad tiesiog vertinti savo tėvo arba mamos rolę, tai kad tu esi tėtis ar mama, tai kad tu suteikiai tą gyvybę. Ir labai dažnai tiesiog tėvai jau užsisuka rutinoje, užsisuka savo rūpesčiuose, darbuose, toje kasdienybėje ir jie pamiršta vertinti ir džiaugtis gyvenimu. Tiesiog būti toje tėvystėje džiaugsmingu. Pusė to, kad...
Where did you get
to the part that you have to remember the joyful things in parenting.
And then also that parents might be helped by remembering that if something difficult is going on with their child, they might also look inside of themselves rather than just the focus on the child's behaviour. What part might they be playing in this?
Ir tiesiog, kad gali būti labai naudinga tiesiog susidūrus su kažkokia tai problema, būtent su vaiko elgesiu, ne sukoncentruoti grynai į vaiką elgesį, bet pažvelgti į vidų, pasižiūrėti, ką aš į tai įnešu.
Not in a way that brings guilt or blame for anybody, but in an atmosphere of curiosity and empathy.
Ir būtinai ne tokiu būdu, kuris neštų kaltę ar kaltinimą, bet tiesiog smalsiai. What is children's role in a parent's life?
Oh, that's interesting.
What
What is parents' role?
Children's role.
Sorry, children's role in parents' life. I think that children will always teach us something about ourselves, but also I think the innocence of children and the natural, innate joyfulness of children has a lot to teach.
Kad tiesiog savaime vaikai labai daug gali ko išmokinti savo tėvus, bet vien tas vidinis žaismingumas ir tyrumas jau labai daug ko gali pamokinti tiesiog savaime. What's the mother's role in a child's life?
Well, I would say that the mother is a fundamental nurturer. If we were growing a plant, we would look after the plant to make it grow. We would make sure it has what it needs in terms of physical environment, but also emotional, spiritual.
Manytų, kad mama yra esminė puoselėtoja vaiko. Tarkim, jeigu mes augintume augalą, mes rūpintumės juo fizinėme lygmenyje, kad jis augtų, bet taip pat ir emocinėme, dvasinėme lygmenyje.
I think very much to be unconditionally loving.
Taip pat labai svarbu tiesiog besąlygiškai mylėti.
Ultimately, not necessarily in every moment, but
nebūtinai kiekvieną akimirką.
We can be human too.
Nes mes taip pat irgi yra žmonės.
But ultimately, it's wonderful if a mother can always remember the miracle that is her child, especially when no one else can maybe see that.
Bet būtų be galo nuostabu, jeigu mama tiesiog visada sugebėtų prisiminti tą stebuklą vaiko. Vaikas yra stebuklas, net jeigu visi kiti tuo metu to nemato. Then could you say what's the father's role?
I would say the father is also there to see the miracle of the child. You know, I think that is not different. I think for both parents, they're like, if they can mirror back to the child, you know, what the child is, in essence, then I think that's really helpful.
Tėvas lygiai taip pat turėtų prisiminti tą stebuklą, tai lygiai taip pat yra svarbu abiem, turėti vidinį tą žinojimą, kad vaikas yra stebuklas ir taip pat kartu atspindėti tai vaikui, kad vaikas tą žinotų, kad vaikas tai jaustų.
I think in the early days of parenting, it's really helpful if the father can provide in a way that if the mother's breastfeeding and taking care of young children, she can't go to the workplace. So I think though both parents can be responsible for providing for the family in the end, I think that often in the beginning it's the father's role.
Ir ypatingai pradžioje, kada vaikas yra mažas, tėvo rolė būtų tiesiog aprūpinti šeimą, nes vis tiek didžiąją laiko dalį yra su vaikeliu, jinai žinto, jinai rūpinasi ir net jeigu galų gale vaikui augant jie abudu aprūpina šeimą, bet pačioje pradžioje tai yra tarsi tėvo vaidmuo.
And I think that men and women are different. Do you want to?
Ir tiesiog vyrai ir moteris skiriasi.
So I think if the man can show the best positive side of being a man, you know, the difference of that, and maybe that's about really being very strong in certain ways, then I think the woman also can show the best of being a woman. And I think that is very strong too, in a different way. So both are strong, but they can also be comfortable with the fact that there's a difference.
Ir jeigu vyras tiesiog galėtų išreikšti kuo įmanoma labiau tai, kad jis yra vyras, geru, stipriu, teigiamu būdu tą vyriškumą. Tai lygiai taip pat padėtų moteriai išreikšti savo moteriškumą ir irgi tokiu būdu, kaip jinai tai supranta.
Just to role model their different genders in a way, a positive way.
Ir tiesiog, kad tuomet jie pamato, kad tie skirtumai jie gali būti ir teigiami, kad tai yra geras dalykas, kad jie iš tikrųjų skiriasi.
If a man treated his female partner in his wife in a way that he wanted his child to role model that for his child, and if the mother role models to the child how you would treat a man, so if they role modeled how you do relationship, how you manage difference, how you manage conflicts, how you appreciate each other, that's going to be great.
Ir jeigu tik tai tėvai galėtų savo elgesiu mokinti vaikus, kaip reikėtų elgtis, pavyzdžiui, mama elgdamasi su savo vyru, kai mokindama vaikus, kaip moteris elgesi su vyru, o vyras elgdamasi su savo žmona, kaip vyras turėtų elgtis su moterimi, parodytų tą gražų santykį, tai būtų tiesiog nuostabu. Could you feel inside yourself that potential to be a teacher?
No. I mean, I just was... I didn't find it very easy to be a teenager, so I struggled with myself, I would say. So maybe that's helpful now, because maybe I learned something about myself along the way. But I was a bit lost in that when I was a teenager.
Nebuvo labai lengva būti paauglė ir turėjo įvairių sunkumų ir galbūt tai jai dabar atneša ganėtinai daug naudos, nes jinai iš tikrųjų tuo laikotarpiu turėjo pažvelgti į save ir išspręsti tam tikrus sunkumus dalykus. Maybe you had at school some teacher that was an authority figure who inspired you, who led you the way.
I think it was more like when I had my kids, I found teachers. It was like opening a doorway. When I had my children, I found all kinds of really powerful, influential teachers, and that began something.
Jinai mano, kad greičiau tuomet, kai jinai susilaukė vaikų, tai tarsi atidarė duris jai ir tada jinai rado be galo daug įvairių stiprių mokytojų. Who are those big life teachers?
Well, early on, it was maybe other women that I met in the circle of mothers. I was, like I said, quite a young mum, and I remember a woman who was on her third child who was much older than me, and she was quite strong and free in a way, and she really took me under her wing, and she was just like, just do it your way and have the confidence. And so even though she's not like a famous person or anything, she was really important to me.
Tai pradžioje tiesiog tai buvo tiesiog stiprios moterys, kurios buvo tame motinų rate, kurios augino vaikus. Ir viena iš jų buvo tiesiog 3 vaikų mama, kuri tarsi priglobė Dompo savo sparnelių ir ją globojo.
My own mother had 7 children, and there was a lot about her that was really inspiring, and she was quite relaxed in the chaos of all of that, so there was some goodness there.
Taip pat jos mama yra 7 vaikų mama ir irgi ją labai daug įkvėpė, nors buvo ir chaoso ir tiesiog visko labai daug su 7 vaikais, bet jinai kažkaip visada rasdavo tą.
And then when I had my child, I trained with Janet Velasquez about 23 years ago. Who's like the birth educator. So she taught me a lot about mothering and birth, and also how birth just touches all of women, and how we bring all of ourselves to birth, and it touches our relationships, our extended family, so much about us, our sexuality.
Ir kai jinai susilaukė pirmo savo vaiko prieš 20 metus, jinai sutiko Janet Velasquez, kuri yra tiesiog gimdymo ir pasirengimo gimdymui mokytoja, ir jinai ją išmokino to, kad gimdymas paliečia visus ir paliečia visas tavo gyvenimo
And then there was different teachers around family counselling and different things. But then I also went to camps where I met James Burgess, who does the 7 words. And I think it was almost like Janet was like the strong woman, and he was probably like the strong man role model that kind of,
Ir buvo tiesiog kitų mokytojų, kurie padėjo tiesiog su porų konsultavimu, kurie to mokino, bet gal galiai tiesiog stovyklos Anglijoje sutiko James Burgess, kuris tapo jos mokytoju, ir kažkuria prasme Janet Balaskas atstovauja tą stiprios moters pavyzdį, o James Burgess stipraus.
Because I think that I had a lot of ideas and a lot of interest in personal process and that kind of thing, but he kind of gave a structure which felt right to me. With the 7 words, it felt useful.
Ir James Burgess tiesiog jai padėjo rasti struktūrą, nes jinai turėjo be galo daug minčių ir idėjų ir interesų. Ir būtent taip pavyko padaryti su 7 žodžių sistemos pagalba.
And also, I just think if you work in the world of birth and parenting, you meet many incredible people who are parents, mothers and fathers, and with a lot of courage, who just always teach me something, because they're all different, so I'm learning from them always, and they're really, really my teachers.
Ir tiesiog, kada dirbi su šeimomis, su gimdymais, su vaikais, tu visada esi apsuptas įvairių žmonių, tėvų, stiprių tėvų, kurie įkvepia ir jinai visada iš jų mokosi, jie taip pat yra mokytojai.
And I think my children, because they keep me grounded, they keep teaching me sometimes what I don't want to learn.
Taip pat jos vaikai, nes jie tarsi ją įžemina ir jie taip pat be galo daug moko, kartais ir to, ko jinai nenorėtų daug. What were the most important lessons that you've learned from your children? That they taught you?
Probably self-acceptance.
Tiesiog svarbiausias turbūt būtų tiesiog savęs priėmimas.
But also to be able to receive one's own sense of goodness. Because they love, they're very, they might be angry or fed up or sad, but they'll still love me. I don't want to say you could do anything as a parent, your kids will always love you, but I think that they're consistently there in a way that teaches you, you have to also accept that with all your imperfections, actually, a good enough job. So something about self-acceptance.
Tai tiesiog jie mokino būtent to priėmimo savęs, tokiu būdu, kad nepaisant to, ar tu esi pikta, ar pavargus, ar kokia, jie vis tiek tave myli, jie vis tiek tave priėma.
Also maybe to trust in life and trust in them. So trust, because, I think they're incredible beings, and I look at them and, I have a lot of respect, and I just think that to have the courage, I suppose, just to be yourself, to be free and to be yourself.
Ir tiesiog paprasčiausiai pasitikėti gyvenimu, pasitikėti vaikais ir
to have trust, to be yourself, to be authentic yourself.
Ir tiesiog pasitikėti, kad gali būti savimi, kad gali būti autentiškas. What brings the most joy for you in life?
When I spend time like hanging out with my family, I love that.
Kada jinai tiesiog praleidžia laiką su savo šeima, tiesiog.
When I'm in nature, I love to be in nature.
Kada jinai yra gamtoje, be galo myli būti gamtoje.
Sometimes it could be just cycling down a hill.
Kartais tai važiavimas žemyn nuo kalbos dviračiu.
And hanging out with my husband and maybe my extended family and just friends.
Tiesiog būti su vyru ir
just every day kind of
giminaičiais, draugais.
Yeah. I have things I love yoga, and I have practices that I love, but often it's people.
Taip pat praktikuoja jogą, jai labai patinka joga. Šiaip jai tiesiog patinka žmonės. What would you like to learn in life?
To hold things more lightly.
Tiesiog žiūrėti lengviau, paprasčiau į dalykus.
To allow for more joy.
Leisti savo jausti daugiau džiaugsmo.
And just to learn just to be in peace within, to be more peaceful inside.
Ir tiesiog išmokti būti ramybėje, taikiu su savimi viduje. Parents and children will watch probably this video and teach us, so maybe you want to say something special for them.
Just to have some fun along the way, not to get so stuck sometimes in the everyday little things that feel like a bit difficult or so important, or just to, sit back and also enjoy it and appreciate the gift of being together for that bit of time.
Tiesiog mėgautis kelionę, tiesiog atsipalaiduoti ir nesusikoncentruoti į tos neigiamus dalykus, bet mėgautis, kad ir trumpu laiku, kada tiesiog yra kartu.
And to say that, children will teach their parents a lot.
Taip pat vaikai labai daug ko gali ir išmokys savo tėvus.
For children to know that as well as the parents.
Kad vaikai irgi tą žinos, ne tik tėvai.
Yeah.